Hi students, today we are going to work on main idea and details. So when you are reading a text, we have a main idea, which is what the text is mostly about, and we have supporting details, which is those things that support the main idea. So when we talk about main idea, we are trying to find out, well, what is that text or what is that section of our text mostly about? And we can do that by reading the supporting details. So today, I have an assignment here, a seesaw assignment that looks very similar to the one that you will do after this. And we are going to read on pages 180 and 181 from our story this week. And the main idea of those two pages I already have written down. And it is that scientists going to the poles must wear protective gear and clothing. So the author of this text on those pages of the book, so I'll show you these pages, the author wants us to know that people that are going to the poles, like scientists, they must wear protective gear and clothing to keep themselves warm and dry. So we're going to read these two pages and we are going to see what we think the supporting details could be. So you can go ahead and follow along right here. It says, at the poles, people wear many layers of clothing to keep warmth in and wind out. They wear big boots and overalls called fat boy pants. Their mittens have furry backs to wipe their noses and warm their ears. They also wear goggles. Without them, their eyes would get sunburned and temporarily blinded by the strong light bouncing off of the snow. The caption here says, no wearing rings, earrings, or sunglasses with metal frames in the extreme cold. Metal gets so cold that it will freeze any skin that it touches. On this page, it says, people who work at the poles must learn how to survive being stuck outdoors. On an unexpected camping trip, they first build a quick shelter to get out of the wind. Then they build a better one and pack in close to one another, using body heat to stay warm. Building shelters or doing any work is much harder in extreme cold. Mittens are very bulky and it's unsafe to go barehanded for long. Getting too cold is dangerous, but so is getting overheated. Sweat can freeze into a layer of ice next to your body. The caption at the top says the body is like a furnace that needs fuel to keep running. It works so hard to stay warm at the poles that people end up eating at least twice as much food as usual. So we are trying to come up with 3 supporting details why people have to wear protective clothing at the North Pole and South Pole. What do you think one detail could be? What is one detail that we read, one sentence that we read that supports that main idea, that tells us that, well, yes, they need to wear protective gear? What do you think? So if you are thinking maybe that they have to wear goggles, they have to wear those goggles on their eyes, just like in this picture. So they pull them down and put them on over their eyes. And they have to wear them so that way they don't get blinded by the sun or sunburned, okay? Because your eyes can actually be sunburned too, not just your skin. So we're going to write that on our seesaw assignment. So I'm going to put a text box here, and I'm going to say that one supporting detail is going to be they, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller here. So by they, I mean the scientists have to wear goggles to help protect their eyes from sunburn and from being blinded. So that's why they have to wear those protective goggles. Okay, so we have one detail. What could be a second detail that could support the main idea that scientists going to the poles must wear protective gear and clothing? What do you think a second detail is? Has to be something about their clothing. So it can't be something about their shelter because it doesn't have to do with their clothing. Well, it says they must wear layers of clothing to keep warmth in and the wind out. So they have to wear big, big boots, not just like the snow boots that you wear, but like really big, extra big boots and fat boy pants. So here's a picture of fat boy pants. My class thought that was pretty funny yesterday. So they have to wear big boots and overalls called fat boy pants. And that is to keep all of their warmth in, okay? So that's like protective clothing for them. So we can write that down as a supporting detail. So I'm going to say scientists must wear big boots and fat boy pants to keep the warmth in and protect from wind. That's our second supporting detail. That looks great. So now we need one more supporting detail, and we can go back to the page. So what do you think another supporting detail could be? Well, it says they also have mittens that have furry backs to wipe their noses and warm their ears. So when you get cold, your nose might run, so they can wipe their nose with the back of their mittens, and also they can warm their ears with them. If they get too cold, they can do this. I mean, of course, they already have a hat on, but they could also do that for an extra layer of heat. So we can write on the, as a supporting detail number 3, that mittens have furry backs to wipe their noses and keep their ears warm. So we can say they wear mittens with furry backs, to wipe their noses when they run and to keep ears warm. That can be our third supporting detail today. Awesome. So now we have 3 really great supporting details. And these all tell us, well, that scientists going to the poles must wear protective gear and clothing. So somebody who reads all of these details will know that you must wear protective gear when going to the North Pole or the South Pole to protect your body. If they don't wear these clothing items and gear, then they could potentially die from the very cold, extreme weather. So you guys are going to do your own seesaw assignment, except you are going to look at pages 174 and 175. So you'll have to read those 2 pages, and then you will have to give 3 supporting details for the main idea on that page, which is that flying into the North Pole and flying into the South Pole is a very difficult task to do. So you're going to have to come up with 3 supporting details as to why it's difficult to fly in and out of the North and South Pole. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed this lesson today with me, and I will see you all later. Bye.